Hey y'all. All right. This video is going to be really short because I'm trying to attach it to the blog, so I don't want to make it really long because the blog is already long. But I wanted you to kind of see my face so you can kind of get the feel on what I'm talking about and how I'm passionate about it. But sometimes people can only read through, I mean, they really can't pick up what type of vibe or what type of spirit that you're in when you're saying it. And my intentions are never to beat anybody over the head, okay? If anybody don't want to be beat over the head, then it's me. And my feelings get hurt really easy. So I kind of wanted you to see my face as I'm talking about these things, because I'm passionate, but I'm not judgmental. You know, I don't want to come off in that type of way. But I do want to talk about the subject from women raising men. And I've heard so many comments and so many things said regarding a woman raising a man. But I wanted to kind of challenge the men, any men that may use this statement, or whether casually or whether you make it a big deal. We all know that it's not God's intent for a woman to have to raise a man. It is God's intent for us to be able to be to be married when we produce children, and to be able to work that thing out so that both of the parents can be in the children's lives. And although the mother nurtures, there's always it's really the man's position to raise this child up to be a strong man. And so we know that's God's original intent, but God hasn't had an original intent with a lot of things. And unfortunately, sin came into the world and it just kind of ruined everything for everybody. And it's not fair to children, but I believe that God has a purpose and a plan for everybody. And I believe that all things do work together for the good of those who love the Lord and that are called according to his purposes. So I think that anything good could come out of a bad situation. I firmly believe that. But since we are here, since we do have single parents, single mothers raising little boys, I think that we have to be very careful with how we tread and how we talk about this situation. Because if you are a man who has not lifted a finger to help in the community, you have not reached out to any single mothers to help with their sons, to help do little things that could possibly steer this young man in the right direction. If you have not put yourself out there to be a mentor or anything to a young man, then personally I don't think that it is your place to say anything about a woman raising a man. Because truth of the matter is, whether she's supposed to, whether she should or not, the truth is she's in the position, so she has to raise her son the best way that she knows how. And yeah, there are a lot of bad examples, like with anything else, but there are some women who are truly trying to serve God and just trying to raise their kids up the right way. But with us not being a man, it's hard for us to teach a little boy certain things. Like, I'm married and I have a husband, and he does great with our son, and so do I. And I'm really involved in his life, but I've had to take a step back a little bit, because sometimes the mother bear can be a little bit overbearing. But you as a wife, you have to step out of the way and let your husband lead, and let your husband be the man of God, the father figure to your son, like he's supposed to be. But and then there's only certain things that I can teach my son. I can talk about it, but I really don't have the same effect as his dad would, if that makes any sense. So I just think you have to just, like I said, be careful and if you're doing all that you can to do this and be this for these young men, then great, that's awesome. Hats go off to you. But for those who are simply talking, because there's a lot of things that sound good out there, there's a lot of catchy phrases and things that sound good, but just because something sound good that doesn't change the fact that there are still real mothers out here. There's still real life situations that are going on. And in my opinion, if you're not a part of the solution, then you are a part of the problem, and your opinions are really irrelevant. You know, and some of us, if you're in a small city like mine, there's not a whole lot of things for, like, mentor programs and things like that for young men. That now there are a couple, and my hats are off, much respect, and I've had a chance to fellowship and be a part of some of the organizations that are here in my city, and I think that what we do have going on is great. It's amazing, and I encourage, you know, all of the young men in my area to connect with some of these organizations that are here. But if you are in a city where there's just not any, so your excuse is where there's nothing that I can volunteer at. Well, create it. Since it's such a concern, since it's such an issue for you that you have to speak on it, create it. You never know. Maybe that's why God is putting it on your heart like that. But we have to be sensitive, like I said, to some of the things that we say. And you know, the same, I was challenged with this very same thing just years ago. And that's what helped me to start our nonprofit teen mentoring organization, Tiaras to Crowns. You know, because we can complain about our children not having things, you know, but when we do, get them involved, participate, and not just go throw them off on people. We have to participate, and you know, and then, like I said, when we don't see things, then you create them, you know, and just make sure that it's in God's timing, of course, and God gives you guidance on things like this. But I think it's a great thing, and it's just unfortunate that a lot of kids are out there fatherless, motherless. They don't have any guidance, and it's so sad. It's so sad. So that is my encouragement to you for today, and I've totally spoken all out of my time, you know, but I really wanted to get this out, and I hope that you can that you were blessed by this. And I encourage you to leave me your feedback, because I don't know everything, you know. It's just, my heart is just really sensitive when it comes to things like this. So when I hear comments and statements like that made, I feel like I have to speak up. So I hope you enjoyed this, and again, leave me your feedback. Be blessed.